Hey, good morning, everybody. Coach Kai, how you feeling today, brother?
Man, just like most people right now in January, February, fighting the disease that's coming at me. So here we're powering through though, man. We got lives to change, we got businesses to run, and fever. What's that?
My calendar is too stacked to get sick, baby. Let's keep it moving. Welcome to your favorite show on every single Wednesday. We have got a wonderful guest today. And yet, before we get there, just a quick reminder, we are here every single morning, 9 a.m. Central for your wake up, for your get up, for your checkup from the neck up, whatever it may be. We're here for it. Today, we're going to touch on mindset, and yet we're going to get into tactics, and we're going to stay sellers focused or listings focused today. We're really excited
Mhm.
to bring this show to you. And guys, just as a cue up, we've already had one guest this week. We've got another one today, and for the next 2 days, we've got more in store for you. So make sure you tune in. We are excited for you to be a part of this and grow with us on the Grow Show. Coach Kyle, will you do me the favor, please?
Mhm.
You proclaimed you were the Bruce Buffer of intros. So let's hear it, sir. I need this guest to get the welcome that he is due. Your go.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of the internet, happy Wednesday. We have the dynamic, the pillar, if you will, of KW. He has been around since the dawn of time and he looks young as a spring chicken. This man's brain is only the size is only rivaled by his large body and even rivaled by his bigger heart. But just a great coach, great speaker, great just mind mentality of all things business and real estate. And Marcus, my favorite thing that I have complimented him on, and one of the realest things I can ever say about somebody, I said, Steve Schleter, you're a real one. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we've got the man, the myth, the legend, Steve Schleter in the house.
Oh man, that's an intro. Okay, we're done. We're going to stop right there. Stopping while I'm ahead, man.
How you gonna live up to that, Steve? Man, I'm excited to learn.
You
there
know,
is
what's really cool, guys, is you know anything I've got to experience or contribute or pass on through my career is because others passed it through me.
That's right.
And so the opportunity we have today to help them with some tactics and some tools that man have been working for me for years, have been working for others. Kyle, I think this is a tool you've used. You want to tell them a little bit about where we're going today?
Yeah, man. So I got the privilege, just like Steve said, one of the reasons we see so far is because we stand on the shoulders of giants. I got the privilege a few years ago to watch Steve run this play on working with sellers, right? And helping them self-discover as opposed to us telling them what to do. And since then, I've just used it. I've taught it. I love it. And he's going to give us right now essentially one of the foundational things that I know about sales, and it's people don't want to be told what to do. They
Mhm.
want to make their own choices. But as real estate professionals instead of agents, it's our job to give them the best choices to make to set them up for success. So Steve, man, intelligent pricing model, take us through it, buddy.
Let's go it. And now today we're going to go paper point, guys. We're going
Yeah.
paper point. So let me pull up the old document camera. And how are we coming through there? Is that all good and
Looks
clear?
great, man. Looks great.
All right, so we're going paper point. Now, here, if you're out there and you've got a piece of paper, I want you to make some notes. I want you to draw this. Now, first, before and here's where we're gonna start right here. I want you to draw 3 horizontal lines just like this. In fact, and then over here on the margins, I want you to draw a line with an arrow on each end. And that's our basic framework for the conversation we're going to have. And I call this, Kyle, the Intelligent Seller's Guide to Pricing. And let me give you the context on where this fits into the conversation with a seller. We will have gone through the normal CMA and given them a good foundation for kind of what the market's doing. And we're going to give them a range, and then we're going to help them make the best decision in the range using this tool. Now, here's the interesting thing. You just made the point, Kyle. They don't want to be told. They want to make a decision.
That's right.
And yet they have to make an informed decision. How many times do we have them make an emotional decision that just is about the biggest number they can get versus really accomplishing what they desire? And many times the CMA, it's kind of a logic tool. Here's the logic of what's going on in the market. And in classic bold, guys, we had a bold law. Which was the bold law? It was logic makes you
think,
and
emotions make you act.
And so you can use this tool to pull the emotion out of the decision too. And here would be the thing about the emotion. And I want you to write this down. People can't say no to their own goals. People can't say no to their own goals. And through this, you're going to be able to illustrate how the choice they're going to make around pricing is going to impact what it is that they desire to accomplish. Because here's what I want you to think about when it comes to selling a house and helping a person make a great decision is that they're not selling a house as much as they're solving a problem.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter and her husband lived in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and they desperately wanted to move to the Florida Panhandle to be close to family. And the house had become a problem. It was in the way of them getting where they wanted to go when they wanted to be there. And so it wasn't just selling a house. It was creating the lifestyle they desired. And this is what most people have an aim. And we're here not just to list a house. We're helping to accomplish a goal. And this decision is going to be the big one. So let's dive into this. And so I want you on your now, by the way, let me share with you that when we do this with a seller, we have a legal pad that we do this on. We don't have a PowerPoint where we're clicking through the steps, because I don't know about you guys. If I'm just running a PowerPoint in front of somebody, it kind of feels like I'm selling.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Big time.
And yet if I say, can I walk you through kind of what really smart sellers, consider when they decide ultimately what price they're going to put on the home, that's a different conversation. And when I'm doing this, I'm educating and guiding instead of selling. There's a big difference. And so when we dive into this, okay, let's go to the paper point here. And now on your page, I want you to write up here at the top the word premium. So I'm going to say, and I'm going to fill this out right in front of them. I'm going to be drawing the lines. It's going to feel very impromptu. I'm saying, well, there's three prices for every home. There's premium, there's market, and there's wholesale. Now, in a minute, we're going to talk about the factors that impact where we choose to place your home. But if we were to define premium, we looked at the CMA and we think, okay, the CMA said the absolute most we could wring out the market, it really looked like about $320,000. Now, market price would be that which seems to be more the median of what's happening, selling in a timely fashion, kind of middle of the road, good condition, maybe not, model home quality. That feels like, from everything we looked at, that's going to be around 300,000. Now, that's the market. Now, wholesale, that's probably a price you don't want, but if you needed an all cash offer, you needed to get out of here quickly, that might be $260,000. And so if we were to look at your options today, based upon your situation, what it is we want to accomplish, and we've talked about that a little bit, and we'll come back to it. This is kind of our range. But before we decide where we're going to price your home, let's look at the factors that play into this decision. Would that be okay?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And so now right here on this line, I'm going to write the word trend. That means where is the market moving? And I'm also going to have us talk about risk. Now, when we think about the trend, the question is it trending towards a seller's market? That would be one where there's very little supply and high demand. Or is it trending towards a buyer's market? And that's one where maybe supply is growing and maybe demand has ebbed a little bit. You probably watch the market a little bit, Kyle, and kind of what's going on in the area. Does it feel like we have more homes for sale right now?
Yeah, in our area for sure.
Yeah. And so if you would say, is the market trending towards more competitive or towards less competitive right now for sellers?
Less competitive.
Less competitive. That's right. And so we'll talk about the risk factor in just a minute. So all of these things play into the decision we make because trends tend to produce the future, and we want to be careful. Now, the other thing that's going to impact our decision today is condition. You got to realize it's kind of like a beauty pageant out there a little bit today, right? And it's, the homes that are in the absolute best condition, those are the ones that get the most activity, maybe multiple offers. And the other issue is time. By when do we need to be where it is we desire to be? So when we think about the condition factor, the thing to consider is, okay, if I want to go premium, do I have a home that is model home condition, professionally staged? It dots all the I's, crosses the T's, beautiful, super photogenic. Or do I have neglect and deferred maintenance, that kind of thing? That would be the other extreme. Now, if we were to say, let's just think, Kyle, about the condition elements. I walked you through some of the listings that we're competing with. When you think about your home in the market, and of course, on a scale of model home being a 10, neglect and deferred maintenance being a 0, where would you rate your home on the condition scale?
Probably about a 7.
I think easily a 7, 8. Yeah. So 7.5. So yeah, for sure. And let's go back to timing. We said ideally you prefer to be in your new location in about 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
Our average days on market in our market right now is really running. We just creeped up to 60. That's the highest we've been in a while. And then if we give ourselves another 30 days for closing, we're kind of right on that 90. So if we had a lot of time, we could maybe cheat this way a little bit. Yes?
Yeah.
Except the other consideration that comes in, Kyle, is time isn't always our friend. Because let me ask you this. If the trend is this way and we take more time, do we really have more time?
No.
Well, because if the trend is down and more time goes by and we continue the trend, could your home become worth less than it is today?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. So we want to avoid that. So it sounds like maybe a timely sale is in mind. Is that important?
Yeah, that 90-day market, it's not just ideal. It's where we need to be.
So we're going to hit 90 days. So considering these factors, we know that we're trending, Kyle, towards a buyer's market. You've got good condition. And yet, even if we had all the time in the world, time might not be our friend with the current trend that we have. So understanding that, yeah, we can justify 320 if condition was a 10, if we want to spend the effort, time, and money to make it a 10, if the trend were a little bit more favorable, maybe we'd push for that and we'd still hit your timeline. And yet, based upon really the market being closer to 300 and market time being about 60 days, what feels like the right price so that we get you to Nashville in 90 days?
Man, definitely want to be in Nashville in 90 days. I know Marcus wants me there less than that.
Yes.
My boss, Marcus. But I hear you. I think it sounds from this 300, but Steve, we really would like that higher number, man.
Yeah. What are you thinking, Kyle?
We would love 320.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we could do that. Sidebar for a second. Any number I put down here, I'm willing to list it at.
Yes. Great important point, ladies and gentlemen. You've done the research before, and any number you write down, you're willing to take it at.
Yeah. So just to understand, I still feel reasonably safe that I'm not going to be drastic reductions, or maybe it's at least in the market a little bit, and yet it might feel like a reach. And yet, I might, at this point, if I'm feeling really concerned that, we could, so let's go back into a conversation. So Kyle, here's what I'll tell you. I'm happy to put it on the market at 320. And yet before we do that, can I point out one thing that I have a little concern about?
Sure.
Okay. And that is this. We don't know where this trend continues. What we do know is that you want to be in Nashville in 90 days, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, if this trend were to get more pronounced, do you know what this line right here represents?
No.
That's future wholesale. That means what's this?
I guess that's future market.
Yeah. And we could put it at 320, and yet if this trend were to continue, premium would move here, and you could be sitting up here out of the market. Now, I don't know that that's going to happen. And yet, I just want you to be kind of really clear on the potential impact of the choice. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, can I offer you an alternative to consider?
Sure.
Yeah. Now, and I want to tell me first why you really feel like 320 is important. Is it giving yourself room for negotiation, or just going for the higher number?
Yeah, I think it gives us room for negotiation and paying all those crazy real estate agent commissions.
Yeah, I get it. And of course, my job is to make sure you get where you want to go, and we make good choices. But let me share with you an alternative. Now, I can't guarantee this is going to happen, but let's say we were to price it closer to market, either just below or just slightly above or right on market. I've had some people, Kyle, even they'll take a situation like this and they'll put it at 295, and they'll go, it will be perceived as such a powerful value in the market that it generates almost an auction-like atmosphere because we get multiple offers. And it's not unusual for something put right at or maybe below market to actually get bid up, and maybe they get 308 and they get slightly above market. Now, can't guarantee that we'd have multiple people bidding on the home. I will tell you at premium price, we face bucking the trend, number one, and number two, we may only ultimately get one suitor, and they may attempt to negotiate us pretty hard. We could sell it there, Kyle. I'm not taking away that we couldn't. I will do my best job. I just, number one, know how important getting to Nashville is to you. And I want to make sure we make the best choice for your family tonight. So now, by the way, here's the thing, Kyle. If we put it at 300 or less, you have my absolute permission to stay firm. And just, if the offer comes and somebody brings us an offer for 295, we'll talk about it, and we'll see if there's been any changes in the trend and make any adjustments, based upon that. But right now, that's where I feel like, man, you're in Nashville, and I'd almost bet the farm on it. 320, we'll probably get there eventually, going into the spring market, but it might be touch and go on time. So all that considered, I'll do whatever you want there, Kyle. But what really, all that taken in, what do you think we should do?
I mean, it sounds like if we need to hit Nashville, which is a must, then we're going to have to sacrifice some of that money and come down to market.
Well, the great thing, Kyle, is you're going to be buying in the same market you're selling, so you're going to have more choices than, if you wait for a heated up moment in the market, you may have fewer choices there and you sacrifice on the other end. So you give me the number you feel comfortable with and certain that we're got you in Nashville, and we'll get this thing sold for you.
300,000.
All right. We'll make it so. So that's it. I mean, and that was now, by the way, let's just talk about this for a second. If we were in a market that was trending more this way, we still have some low inventory markets out there.
Absolutely.
And if it was trending this way, the emphasis is going to be on condition and time. What is the average days on market? And again, I'm going to be more apt to be willing to price it towards the higher end of the range. We know there's agents out there that buy listings on price, and I've got to be cognizant of that. What we might explain to the person is, now, by the way, sometimes trends go neutral or sometimes they reverse themselves. And so I'm going to be watching the market. Remember one of the things Diana Koska used to talk about? She was talking about the 4 or 5 Ps, and she says, one of the things I do is I price watch, and it's watching the market. And if these things change, you're going to be the first to know so that we can make good choices. If something comes in the market and undercuts you, and just having them understand the language of trends. And of course, the risk element is, I didn't quite bring it in, but essentially the risk piece was my willing to risk my timeline.
That's right.
Going for the big number, especially when the trend might be working against me. And I'll tell you, the thing that really helped me when people wanted to go for the big number when it was trending softer was drawing that line. And then I even explained it this way to somebody. I said, y'all remember that Hasbro toy called a Slinky?
Yep.
And I said, well, think about it this way. If you had a Slinky and it was going down the stairs and you wanted to stop the Slinky, if you reach out to it going down the stairs from behind and you reach down while going down the stairs, where are you going?
Down.
You're down. And if you want to really stop the Slinky, what do you got to do?
Start from the bottom to catch it.
You got to get in front of it. Right. And so this is just like that. If we want to make sure we don't have the Slinky effect of chasing a market down, we got to get in front of the market. Now, and so what would happen, I'll go back to the document camera for just a minute. What would happen in one of those markets, I would suggest that a pricing strategy where we really felt like there was a pronounced trend towards a buyer's market, I'd say the smart seller is out in front of the market, goes slightly below, and you may be one of those rare properties that even creates multiple offers or a bid up because it is perceived as the single best value in the market in its competing area. Now, there's another pro tip. If you'll write down this pro tip, Kyle, we hear all the time, well, my listing's priced right, it's just not selling.
Yeah.
I'm calling something on that.
Yeah.
And when I went through this with my daughter in Nashville, their house wasn't selling. I happened to be doing Bold in Nashville at the time. And I talked to her agent and I said, do me a favor. I said, update the CMA and yet include the actives and pendings in other neighborhoods that somebody buying in their neighborhood would shop. I said, because today it's not about the comps in a neighborhood might not be enough. You might need to look at the competing market. And the competing market is where would anybody buying this home also be considering? And look at your competition. So, yeah, if you keep being a bridesmaid and not a bride, got to see what's going on out there.
Yeah, man. The reason I love this play, and guys, go back and watch this a bajillion times because there is so much nuance that Steve is putting in here through his questions. The reason I love this play is it can be adapted to literally any market that you're in around the nation, any time of the year around the nation, and it shows pain points for their specific place, condition, time, money. Like, it lets you adapt this outline to whatever the client needs for their specific situation. So it's just a solid play to help them self-discover as opposed to you selling and telling.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the thing. Having the visual aid, instead of them doing this and just having something perceived in their head and they're making up this own story, when you put it on paper, They have to literally justify the arrows. Their decision's going up here, but everything else is going here. It literally makes you make a different decision. I love the visual aid. Steve, I agree with you. Nobody wants to be sold, but everybody wants to buy. And essentially they're buying their price right there. They're authoring their price with that wonderful, wonderful breakdown. And if we're being really honest, a first-time seller, they need this education.
Yes.
Instead of listening to a Zestimate or a cousin who's telling them from 3 states away, this area is so hot, right? This is really coaching them up and consulting at the same time. Very well done, Steve. That's great, man.
Cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, guys, we need to bring Steve back. We're going a little bit long on the show today, and yet I know he's got more nuggets for us. So do us a favor, comment below, give us some takeaways, give Steve some love. And I bet you if there's enough comments out there, Steve might come back on the show because I know he's got so much more to share. My friend, thank you so much for pouring into us. Thank you for leveling us up. And guys, let's go get those listings. We're proud of you. We'll see you soon.
Guys, if you're out there and you resonate with this strategy, which I obviously have and use all the time, never-ending referrals, in my opinion. It's a program that Steve Schlueter and Tammy Youngs teach. It's one of the best value positions that you can be inside of coaching. It's super affordable. It's super knowledgeable. So, I mean, Steve, how can they find more of you?
Just go to mapscoaching.com. You're looking for fast track group coaching, and just go to Never Ending Referrals. You can join our community for $39 a month. Tammy and I are live 3 Mondays each month, and it's an ongoing. Jump into the conversation with us.
For the price of 2 Starbucks orders a month, you can drastically grow your business with Never Ending Referrals, man. Guys, thank you, Steve. Thank you. Go catch him on Never Ending Referrals or catch him in a bold room near you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, have a great day.
See you guys.
Catch you tomorrow.